Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Chillin with the Breeze. It's me, Safer, and we got another one at you. Today's a pretty special episode. I'm in the house with Houce. That's right, the artist Houce. And we sit and chat in the Discord channel for about 15 minutes. We talk about a bunch of cool things, like how we got into Melodic Progressive House and how making Melodic Progressive House has helped us both in life. We discuss the beauty and simplicity of turning the pain and struggles from life into the happiness for others through our music. We also discuss how music helps us discover the path to our problems and how we can bring more to the scene overall once we are established as artists. We also go on to discuss his upcoming collaborations, which is real juicy, and releases, and his upcoming album release. So be sure you check it out. It's a great episode. He talks about a lot of great stuff. Show him lots of love, and we'll catch you on the end. All right, man. So we are live. Okay, cool. I'm recording now, and yeah, cool. So, yeah, man. Yeah, how's it going? You said you're swamped with work. We were talking a little bit before I started recording. Before anything else, man, just introduce yourself to me like you've never met me before. Tell me who you are.
Okay, well, for those who don't know me, some of you probably follow my real Facebook page, and my real name is Tom, but my artist name is Houce, and obviously go by that name. It's not to be confused with a house as a building, but it is pronounced that way because I've heard some people pronounce it Housey or Houses or whatever, but it's just Houce, and that's kind of the artist name I go under. And my main daytime job or daytime studies at the moment is film school, because my main career job is going to be film editing and kind of film directing or film script writing, but I do also have a big love for music production and making music.
Oh man, that's crazy. That's awesome. So that's actually interesting. I never really knew how to say your name. So it's cool that you explained it, because it's the same with me.
It's just Houce. It's like,
yeah, go ahead.
It was like I was watching, I think I saw the video you put up about because I'd always seen the guy, what's his name, Yusuke Teranishi, but I didn't want to butcher his name the first time I pronounced it.
Right. I know, man. I just winged it.
I know because he's from a different country, but I also didn't want to butcher that name wrong.
Right. I know. It's all right, man. I figured you might as well try. People have trouble saying my name. They have no idea, and it's so funny. I was actually in a radio. I was on Twitter the other day, man, and this people tweeted at me. So there's some other people out there that do EDM podcasts as well. Bird's Eye View. Massive shout out to them. They're like in the scene as well, podcasting, talking about it. I tuned into one episode and I loved it. But anyways, she invited me to one of the the chat rooms, and I went in there and joined. They're like, "Hey, what's up? How do you say your name?" And I tried to tell them. They're like, they said it wrong, but it cracked me up. It was great, man. So hey, man. So Melodic Progressive House, dude. How did you find it? How did you get into it? I'm super curious to know.
Well, the way I got into it is because the first song I ever heard, and you'll be able to hear this because I've got a playlist with over 100 songs, and I keep updating it. It was originally called just House Playlist, like just a normal house, not my spelling of house. This was before I even met it, because I listened to Melodic House from 2018 onwards. And the first track I came in contact with, which is on that playlist, and that playlist is an exact diary of how I listen to music from day one all the way through to day two. It's not just random music put randomly. It's literally a diary of music that I've listened to day by day or week by week. And the first song that got me into it was, I think it's called, I'm not sure if the track was called Offing, and it was by Jake Boy, and it was on one of the Coastal samplers. And it's the same sampler that had Valia and the Pandelemia track or whatever that was. But that was the first song that got me into Melodic House. And then I was trying to find loads of tutorials, because I've seen there were loads of tracks that inspired me. I think there was a Melanosense track which was called Beautiful Days or something, and there was also that famous remix that Ryo Nakamura did, and that breakdown in the song Beautiful Days, it was just like the way they do the pianos there, or there was like there was another track as well, what's it, I can find it here on the playlist. The other track was it was like there was like In and Out of Love, Vasily Godkov, and those in those breakdowns you hear like these big fucking lush pads with like loads of pianos drenched in reverb. You hear these like creative things. It was making me think of like nostalgic things, but it was also making me feel really creative. And I wanted to make a lot of this kind of music, and I couldn't, because the shame is that nobody puts out enough tutorials on this music. And it's a very unspoken about genre. And the only person I could find who put music on this at the time, I know her name since changed, was Cameron, now Lauren. And when I found the tutorials, I was like, because I'm not usually like, in real life, I am kind of like outgoing and I talk a lot more than I used to, because I used to be quite a kind of like secretive and to myself kind of person. So at the time, I was a little bit iffy. I was like, do I join the group chat? Do I not? And then I was eventually like, fuck it, I'll join the Discord. I joined the Discord and I just started sharing ideas. And then she was like, she heard my sound and she was like, you've got potential. I really kind of like where you're going. If you keep at it, you'll do well. And then we ended up doing a collaboration, which ended up being the track Cabo Frio that now has some ridiculous amount, like 12,000 streams on Spotify. Then I started messing about some more. And what do you know? I ended up creating the track that's now One Day, which is over like 21,000 streams, and it's one of my most basic productions.
That's how it works.
The fastest production time ever.
Oh dude, that's how it was with my track Summer Peace. I made that absurdly fast, and people were like, oh, it's an amazing track. And I'm like, man, if you only knew how fast I made that, you'd probably be like, what were you doing?
I know. I'm also like, maybe I should have added, I'm still looking back at that and thinking maybe I should have added more, because to me, based on like other people's tracks, like I listen to a lot of like, I'm doing like other collabs. I've got like ones with Cosmax and the work that I'm doing. I've got some that I've done with Rolled Belden that should be coming out soon. And based on hearing like what they put into the input of collabs, it sounds like there needs to be a lot more elements there. And One Day is simple. It's like chords, bass, pads, and plucks, and then the drums, and that's it. And I'm just like, well, shouldn't there be something else there?
Well, that's the beauty of it, man. You could put whatever you want in between the spaces, but as long as the basics are there, then the rest of it kind of fills in as it goes. That's the beauty of Melodic Progressive House. So
that's what I aim for as well. It's like having that story.
What? You say that again?
Having the story through the music. That's why I like One Day. One Day holds a really personal connection for me, because it was like, what is it? It's like when you're in the moment, when you're like, because One Day, I wrote that when I was 19, so I'm 21. I wrote that when I was 20. I wrote One Day, and that was like bang in the middle. I think that must have been when I started. One Day I started that, and that was like 2019, because 2019 brought a lot of kind of hard stuff for me, like gaining tinnitus and whatever else problems, and having to kind of adjust to like the new norms of having one ear fine and the other ear not, and all this and that. And One Day, it's almost like a mix of like how I deal with that, but then it's also like looking at where I am now and having like a dream of where I want to be in the future, like where I want to live. Maybe I want to have like the idealistic dream of like having the best job in like an editing room, or like being able to create my own films or work with my own music projects and stuff. And it's just like a kind of dream.
Yeah. Well,
it's kind of like a stage of life, because I've seen myself and I've been very secretive, and I'm only now starting to kind of like, as I grow older, I'm starting to realize that I can be a little bit more open. I can start chatting to people, like socializing. Like uni life is a perfect example where I'm always socializing with new people that I didn't think I'd meet in the first place. And then I'm always like, maybe I want to, eventually find the girl of my dreams, or look in the future and, start getting out there and finding people and socializing. And One Day kind of depicts exactly that.
And would you say music, like making Melodic Progressive House and in the genre, has helped you be more like open like that, like helped you find yourself and be more like, I don't know, like brave with yourself and doing more, setting goals?
Definitely. Yeah. For me, it's hard because for me, the hardest thing I find is saying things out loud. Like if I need help or I struggle, like sometimes I find it hard to kind of like express that out loud. Like sometimes I'm quite good because I'll realize I need it, or most of the time I'll be like, this is what I need. But then a lot of the time, music, like melodic house, gives me that expression.
Yeah.
It gives me the freedom to kind of like just put my things on the page. I'm not really like trying to tell you anything. I just want you to take that. This is how I feel. I'm not trying to like give you this whole explanation. It's just, this is what I want you to feel from my music, and this is how I'm currently feeling. So I want you to know how I'm currently feeling. It's like an open-ended letter for someone to read that I've just written to them.
Exactly.
Almost.
Beautifully put. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. It's definitely like people that hear it, they get the idea of how much emotion is really inside of the track, you know, and that's the beauty of it, because it doesn't have to be a complicated track for you to get that emotional kind of story out there and for somebody else to hear and understand and resonate with, and then they connect with you on that level. It's like, you know, it's one of the things where you turn your pain into something that can actually help somebody else along in their life, you know?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm always like, I know I'm currently going through my fair share of tough times and dealing with things I never thought I'd have to deal with in the past year. And it's just like, I don't want people to, like, obviously there's COVID and everything, which is like one thing that everybody's having to deal with. There's also like my problems I've stated before that I've been having to adjust to as a person, even though I know I'm hopeful for the future and the cures that it might bring to problems like tinnitus or ear problems. And I'm really hopeful for that. Right. And I'm excited for the future, but I know that other people are probably going through shit right now too. And I don't want them to feel that it's not okay, because I want them to know that things are okay.
Right, exactly. Like you want to give them a chance in life, even though it's rough, you know, even though you're having a bad time.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
Because the worst thing I've noticed is the worst thing you can do is keep dwelling on things and saying, oh, it's shit, it's never going to get better.
Absolutely.
That's the worst thing you can do. Because I've had nights where I've like honestly had nights where I've like bawled myself out because I don't like the way I'm having to be stuck with like a generated high-pitched tone in one ear and none in the other. Yeah. And I've had those nights when words of advice, not just from parents, but from like family, from other people, they've just told me, like, that friends as well, the best thing you can do is to just like keep looking at each day as something better rather than dwelling on this. Otherwise, your problems are only going to get worse.
Right, exactly. You'll never be able to solve them. That's the thing. If you look at the problem so hard, you'll never be able to figure out the solution. Yeah,
like sitting there and crying or like getting frustrated at it or getting annoyed at it and wanting to kind of like mentally in your head swear at the problem, that's not going to help it. But then if I focus that into music, it kind of helps me channel my energy and my expressions as to how I kind of express that.
Right.
Almost not anger and pain, but that kind of like frustration towards it.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps you explore the problem a little bit more, and it opens the problem up a little bit better so you can discover the solution. Like making the music for me has helped me discover the solutions to lots of my problems, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
It's amazing, man. I mean, it's cool because even though it's not like well known or anything, there's many people who share the same feeling and way, and they also communicate their feelings through music like this as well, you know. And that's why I want this. That's why I want to do stuff like this. I want you to be able to talk a little bit and be confident to say what you want to say and know that like I support you, man. Like I'm an artist. I've been doing this for however long, and it's very difficult in the beginning, and then you get into the scene, and then you want to do more, you know, you want to do better, and you want to be the best, so to speak.
Yeah.
The scene here, there's really not much at the top, so to speak. Once you get there, you know, you got to keep doing more for it. You got to keep bringing more of the passion to it, and artists like you, 100%. Myself, you know, that's what we're doing. We're trying to bring more passion, more energy, more love, you know, more love to the scene, and with our music. Yeah. So what you got coming out, man? So you said you had I heard you earlier. You said you had a collaboration with Roald Velden. Now, what's up with that?
I got a collaboration with Roald Velden. That's because I started this a while ago. It's on his. If you if you're really sneaky, I won't spoil much, but he posted it on one of his Minded Music sessions.
Okay.
And he posted it on, I'm not going to say which one because I don't want to spoil it, and I've seen a few people in the comments posting it, but it's one that we're doing for Minded Music because I wanted to do a Prog House collab with him because I love all his old time favorites, like what's that song, She's Something Else, or the other one,
baby, yeah,
or like Time Stood Still, those ones with the big classic guitars and everything else. And he was feeling more of an ambient vibe because he told me he'd been feeling quite uninspired with melodic progressive house making. So then I kind of sent him some stuff over, and I've got some stuff there. And then I was I'm not too sure if this one is happening. I may or may not have one with Wasu. I don't know. Because he said we were keeping things. He said he's busy at the moment, and he said he may hit me up sometime in the future. I know one that I have been trying to work on is finishing a collab with Musty as well, because I really like his tracks. Like Unpopular Opinion, I like the ARS and Warm Sunshine. That EP. That EP did it for me, as well as as well as that Something Else, or like Hidden Place, whatever his EP was. And then as for collaborations, that's it. But I do have an actual album coming out with Synth Collective in February. It's my next kind of album that I've been back to after a while, and it's just a solo EP, and I may in the future look for remixes for that. And then in terms of vocal collaborations, I may or may not have one with Jan Martin, because for those of you who don't know, he records his own vocals in a lot of his productions, and I hit him up yesterday or like the day before because I've got some synthwave tracks or some melodic house, and I want to do a mixture of EPs, and I thought his vocals would be perfect for it because I was just playing the song and I could hear his sort of vocal style in there, and I messaged him and he was like, I know, like, obviously it's Christmas and he's got family and whatnot, or kids or whatever, and he's having to deal with Christmas, and I was like, that's fine because I'm dealing with like deadlines too, so I can wait a little while, but we're hopefully gonna put things off there.
Nice, man. Nice. That's awesome. I mean, I'm excited, brother. I'm excited. I support this. Definitely post on your social medias, man. In fact, go ahead and let everybody know how they can follow you along with these releases. Like, how can we keep track of what you got dropping? You got SoundCloud, YouTube, what's going on?
I got SoundCloud, and then SoundCloud's the main way that I post shit. When I'm like doing like little recordings or videos or like just updating people, I mostly do that on Facebook. I don't use Instagram. But I do also have a YouTube channel. It doesn't have much on there. It's mostly like my live streams. I'm not too sure if like my tutorials are any good, but the one I know that is a good tutorial is somewhere along my channel. I've got a vocal chops tutorial, and Lauren commented on it saying like now the teacher is teaching the students becoming the teacher or something like that. And
post that link. Post that link in the Discord channel. Post that link to that channel, that video, okay?
It's just the way, because I've been listening to a lot of Richard Bass, and I saw the way he does his vocal chops. He makes them really thin, but puts a lot of reverb on them. And he does a lot of different chops, and then it's almost like with some of them, he starts at like -2 and goes up to -3 or like 0 in the transpose. Like he messes with transposing and different kind of stuff, and I was trying to set up to kind of decode his style. And the only thing I've managed to receive out of that is his vocal chops, but I've been trying to figure out his kind of production style, because I know he works with a lot of reverb and a lot of spaces. Like that track Beside Me was full of reverb, but he managed it so well.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So SoundCloud, we got YouTube. Are you on Twitter? Facebook?
I am on Twitter. I don't use it as much. I got an account and I can start using it more if people prefer that as a contact method. But the main ones I use are Facebook, SoundCloud, and the other one. But then I also saw Lumadelic started up. He changed his PayPal to a site called Ko-fi, which seemed kind of cute and kind of like
Ko-fi.
Kind of like
it's like
nice.
Patreon.
And I started to look at maybe changing. I don't want to be
Yes.
copying him explicitly,
No.
but it looked kind of cute,
You're
and I
not.
thought maybe I might change it.
Yeah, you're not, man. Yeah, look into that. Look into the wave because, yeah, you gotta have ways for people to support you. Now, I know you're on them now. Is it like HOUCE for everything? Just SoundCloud.com/HOUCE, or is it like House Music, or
SoundCloud, it's how it is. It's just an S in front of the E because House was taken.
Uh-huh.
So then for stuff like that, for stuff like personal kind of artist emails or whatever else, I just added an S to that.
Oh, okay. So that way,
Yeah.
like if somebody's just listening and they can't like look you up right immediately, at least they can like type the URL in and see where you're at. But yeah, okay, cool, man, cool. So yeah, that's great. We're gonna make sure I'm gonna make sure and post it all on the podcast. I'm gonna make sure everybody has a way to reach out, support you on your journey, man. It means the world that you're doing this, that you're an artist, that you're a musician, that you're giving your music to the world. Thanks, man. Thank you so much. I'm grateful as a music artist that somebody else is making music and they believe in what they're doing. You have massive support from me, man. Thanks so much for chilling with the breeze. And we're gonna talk again soon. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here. I gotta do other stuff like live stream, and but we're gonna talk again soon, man. So is there anything you want to say? Any last word before we hop off, Doc?
I think I'm just trying to think. I think it's all good. Like I mean, like it's just me talking about how I express my music and the ways I do that, and I think we covered all the points. But I think it's like important for other people to find ways to express their own music, and if they can do that successfully, then that's a job well done.
All right, man, that's absolutely beautiful. I absolutely agree as well. This is about self-expression, and we should support each other with our expressions. So thank you so much, Houce, man. I'm gonna hit you up again soon, and much love to you, brother.
Cool, you too.
All right, man. That's going to be it for today's podcast episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, hanging out with us both while we chat about our passion, our love, and that's music. Be sure you guys check out Houce, give him a follow. His social media links will be all in the description below. Check out at least one of them. Show him some love for us. Let's keep spreading the love. As usual, thank you guys so much for being here with me, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to today's episode. I really appreciate it. If you could do me a favor, let me know down below in the comments what you thought of today's episode. What was your favorite part? Timestamp it for me. I would so appreciate it. I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you on the next one.